Hello, and welcome back to the Win Daily Sports Show. My name is Michael Brazil. I got my man Ghost here with me, and we are breaking down the NBA DFS slate for this beautiful Monday. First Monday in January. Happy New Year's, Ghost, man. How are you feeling about 2021 so far?
Happy New Year, brother. Feeling good. Weather's warming up here. I guess warming up for Canada. So it's a weird little week that we're having. It's surprisingly warm. So I'll definitely take it. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come.
I'll cross my fingers for you. I assume it's a whole 7 degrees there. So you know what, man? Take it as it is. Do what you can. And we appreciate everything you do for us over here at Win Daily Sports. Ghost, obviously, is a big piece, and he helps run the entire NBA section we have here. Now, everything's not free anymore, but we still have our NBA offer up. So $150 get you every single thing, all the articles, the projections, the content, the Discord, the expert chat, all of it. $150 for 7 months. We are going to be here breaking down the slate tonight. I'm going to be looking at the betting side a little bit. Maybe Ghost has some of those fun overs that we like to see. We're also going to be constructing a little bit and talking about some of these lineups for the NBA slate. If you haven't already, smash that like button. How was that one, Ghost? That was a pretty good one. Felt good coming out.
Pretty enthusiastic.
Yeah, right?
That's a 2021.
There we go.
Right there. So
there we go.
like
Smash that like button. If you haven't already, make sure you are hitting the subscribe button as well. And make sure, please, literally, my favorite part about doing this show is, one, I get to hang out with Ghost for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour, depending on Kevin Durant. And two is the chat. So chat, please come help us out. Ask us all the questions you have. We are literally here to help you win money on NBA, whether that's betting, whether that's DFS, whatever it is. And I forgot, damn it, I forgot my hat. That sucks. I have my Roosling paving and construction hat.
For all of your paving and concrete needs.
I have the hat. Well, every time he comments, I'll make sure to put up his name. That way he gets it. So I do appreciate it. Here we go. Already, let's get it, Dow. Happy New Year's, guys. You too, buddy. Let's go get that cash tonight. That's what we're here to do. So let us bring up the Draft Kings board. Couple things of note. Actually, let's take this away first because we don't have Brooklyn on the slate. So let's talk about that for a second. Kevin Durant, I just saw 7 days in quarantine because of these weird NBA rules. Weird because he's tested negative like 5 times, I think. But because someone he knows tested positive, he's not allowed. I don't know. How much does that? I think this is the first big one of the year now, right? Outside of James Harden going to the strip club.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely didn't take James Harden too long to make his imprint on the league this season with all their new regulations and stuff. But shout out to Adam Silver for playing it safe. You know, when we heard about these new policies and stuff like this, we were saying, okay, is it going to be preferential treatment for certain stars if guys are going to miss 4 games and whatnot? You got one of the biggest stars in the game in Kevin Durant playing 4 games this week that he's slated to potentially miss all 4. So you know what, he's keeping his league afloat and he's doing whatever he has to, and I respect the decision, and not only keeping the players safe, but everyone in that locker room too. So we're gonna have to keep up with that. If you liked my 45-minute rant on Kevin Durant, would you see the 45-minute rants on Kyrie Irving when KD has to sit out?
Very excited for him, yes, and that's, obviously we hope he's okay. We hope his family's okay. But it allows us to find some value. I can guarantee that one. We'll get to the first question too. MCW, good play for cash or GPP?
We'll get there.
All right. You'll love to see.
It's the first game on the slate. It's the first game on the slate. That's why.
Oh, that does make it nice and easy, right? So we have Cleveland. We have Orlando. Oh, big news. James Harden is in and Luka Doncic is questionable. So it's definitely something to pay attention to. Kevin Love, man, that's so sad. He's still going to be out. Cleveland and the Magic are favored by 5.5 at home. Over under sits at a very low 215.5. There's no fun in that game. Ghost, talk to me a little bit. What are you liking from this one?
You have 2 premier center options right at the beginning, right at the beginning of the slate. First game, you're already looking at guys like Nikola Vucevic and Andre Drummond, who are perennial 50-plus point DraftKings and FanDuel point players anytime that they step foot on the court. So whenever I end up building on DraftKings, some nights I end up saying like, man, I wish I could just play 7 guards, like lose a small forward position, lose power forward. Like, okay, I'll find a center here and there, but it's like, man, I just want to play 6 or 7 guards. Tonight's a night where I can legitimately play 9 centers and be 100% happy with my lineup.
Love it.
And it starts right here in this first game between Andre Drummond and Vooch. So they're going to be going at it all night long. These guys are going to be going back and forth. And you know that when Drummond's on the court, Vooch is going to be on the court. Vooch needs to be on the court if Orlando wants the chance to win not only this game, but any game whatsoever in this NBA season. So hence, Andre Drummond's going to be out there a lot. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Scariest thing for Vooch is that he added a pretty lethal three-point shot to his arsenal on the offensive end. I don't want to say lead, like it's not Steph Curry. Don't get too crazy now and say like, oh my God, this guy's going to be absolutely lethal from behind the arc. But you know what? He's shooting over 48% from three. So that to me is when you get a guy like Nikola Vucevic that could dominate in the post, be strong on the glass on both ends, and on top of that now he could shoot from behind the arc. It's something that's really fun to watch, and especially on the Orlando Magic, you're not exactly looking at some very flashy players. I mean, if you want to count Markelle Fultz and hoping for a breakout season anytime now, then I guess you could throw him into that conversation. But it's a lot of guys that just simply get the job done. But Vooch is that guy that now that he's chalking up threes. He was always fun to watch and one of the most underappreciated players in the entire league. But now that he has that 3-point shot, I can't wait to see what he does tonight against Drummond.
He's always been criminally underrated. I always love getting him in season-long NBA, right? I play a little bit of that too, and my team's usually bad, but there's a whole story behind it. But I always love to grab him. You always can get him late, and he always dominates, and he's always a top 5 center. We juice the scoring a little bit, so it's different, but it's still a lot of fun. So he's just underrated, and now if he can start hitting threes, man, that's a recipe for disaster. Got a couple more questions over in the chat, but let's finish up this game before we get to some of them. Let's go back to the MCW question. How are you feeling about him tonight?
He might come in lower owned than he should be, just because of some other chalk, meaning another high owned player in another game on this slate. So we'll look at that option. He's not somebody that's too much on my radar tonight. At 4,600, you would need at least 30 plus DK. From MCW for him to be able to pay off in a tournament. When he was trending in that $36, $37, $3,800 range, that's where you get starter minutes and yes, not too many options for these Magic on the offensive end, especially with Dwayne Bacon sliding in for Evan Fournier, who's also been ruled out. I know DK and Final still have him as Q, but it is official that Evan Fournier is not playing in this game. So MCW will definitely have ample opportunity to be able to score if he wants to. He's a guy that rebounds fairly well, whether they're playing him at point. Sometimes he gets minutes at the 2 or the 3 as well as a smaller wing player. But he's not somebody that's too much on my radar just because of that price tag. Needing 30 plus DK from MCW, I rather pivot to some other value plays that we're going to talk about. Another guy that I have a ton of interest in this game is Colin Sexton. Again, we always mention narratives. We not only are we here to make money, but we're here to have some fun too. So it is Colin Sexton's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
So this is a guy that, I always mention him in GPPs because he's somebody that's extremely volatile in the sense that you need him to score in order to get a ton of points and not only hit value, but also to exceed value. So for Colin Sexton to be able to drop a minimum of 20 points every single game thus far this season, it's exactly what he's doing. He's scoring in bunches. He's that guy. Kevin Love's been out. Yes, Larry Nance fills in well there, and he crashes the boards pretty well with Andre Drummond and gives him that bigger body. But this is Colin Sexton's offense, and you know that he's going to go absolutely bonkers on his birthday, and he has the matchup in order to do so. Markelle Fultz does not play defense whatsoever. Sexton's going to be able to hit his mid-range and be able to drive to the hoop fairly easily tonight. If you're looking off the bench, somebody that's going to be low-owned or at least should be low-owned is Terrence Ross. At 6K, that is a pretty penny to play. So for him to get there again, you're looking at 36 plus for Terrence Ross. These are all guys that, they end up sharing the rock fairly well. Most of these guys have usage rates between 20 to 30% with Vooch leading the team in that aspect. So if I do want one of these mid to high priced Orlando Magic guys, it's going to be Nikola Vucevic, just because we know of not only how important he is to that offense, but also how much he's going to be on the court with Andre Drummond on the other side.
Yeah, I think that part obviously is very important with the both of them on the floor as much as possible. But we always talk about the more minutes means points in NBA DFS, right? It's same thing in NFL. If your team is on offense, that's how you score points. That's how you have the opportunity to score. So the more often you are on the court, the more opportunity obviously there is. Darius Garland also has a Q tag. I don't know. Are you? I know you're up to date, but I'm curious. Do we have do we know if he's gonna be playing or not? Because that obviously helps or hurts Colin Sexton's case a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen him questionable throughout the entire day. It hasn't really been too much news. I would expect within the next 5 minutes, coaches should be coming out to to give their pregame injury reports and whatnot. So we shouldn't have to wait too long for that. If this was a 9 o'clock game, I would definitely not play him. And even if he is in, I'm all in on Colin Sexton if picking one of the Cavs guards tonight.
Love it. All right, let's get to a couple questions. Brandon Washington, what's up, Brandon? Fox, Rozier, Hield, Sexton, Bay, Harris, Randall, I guess that's Zion. Thompson for GPP on FanDuel.
Yeah, so you nailed one of my one of my value plays when discussing MCW there early on. We're gonna discuss him when we get to that Detroit game. Terry Rozier is not somebody that I'm too on tonight. Because of another certain point guard that I want to play from that Charlotte Hornets team. So we didn't have to wait too long for me to get LaMelo Ball into my lineups. Tonight's going to be the night that, really? I've already played him before, but he might just make my main lineup. So I'm looking forward to talking about him this next game.
LaMelo Ball, you'll love to see it. All right, Mark, what's up, Mark? You see the projections. Who are your top 2 value plays on DraftKings?
You tell me. Whatever the model says is the answer that I'm going to see. So I don't have them in front of me right now, obviously, because we're on air. But whatever it says on there, that's what I roll. Whatever the model ends up having, and whatever I end up writing about, whatever we end up talking about on the show, is exactly what I play. And Michael knows because I text him that every night. And whenever we always bet the PRAs on guys that we play together and everything like that. So I don't blow smoke. We don't put that model up just to have something up there. Whatever it says is exactly what I play. Whatever I write is exactly what I play. And obviously, whatever we end up talking about on here an hour before tip is exactly what I play.
Go send me screenshots of his lineups and say, I wish people just listen to me, because he's right. A little bit of information. And again, appreciate the hell out of
That's huge.
Marcus Smart is out.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's huge. That's huge. Okay.
Go. All right. That game is a little bit further down the line.
Double rookie point guard tonight. Let's go.
Double rookie.
We just skip to that Boston game.
Yeah. Do you want to do questions first, or you want to skip to the Boston game?
No. Let's do the questions. We'll get to the Boston game after. We'll do them in order. I can't skip. I can't skip LaMelo Ball.
FD Cash, Curry, Hield, Bay, Sexton, Randall. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's a strong core. I mean, that's exactly what we have on our cheat sheet over at Win Daily Sports as well. Without giving it all away, every single day, both Brian, Adam, and Adam, myself, Brian, and Adam, we all put up a cash core. We put up a GPP core on that cheat sheet. So all 5 of those are on the FanDuel side of the cheat sheet. So a very strong core so far. And make sure to round it out with guys that have safe floor, but also be able to capture that upside as well. So make sure you head in Discord and also check out Adam's cash game breakdown. By far the most complete cash article in the entire industry.
Adam's amazing. Rapid fire, Pritchard or MCW tonight with Smart being out?
We'll talk about that in the Boston game. You saw my reaction when Marcus
I did. Drea, what's up, Drea? I hope you're making some money with this. Ghost, you stacking Houston, Dallas? We'll get there.
Absolutely.
Yes. Let's see. Stack a game or individual games for top line on DK 200K top prize. Is that
you gotta get different in these large field. I assume that if it's 200K to the top, it's likely one of these contests with 40, 50, 60,000 people in it. So if you end up doing that, you got to make sure that not only does your lineup make sense, we keep talking about that. It's something that I mentioned over and over again. Sounds fairly simple, but it's something that people often overlook when they end up constructing their lineup. So make sure that you don't have guys that are subbing in for one another, taking away from each other's usage. And typically I do like to not necessarily go with a game stack, but more so a duo. Like, for example, you saw what Steph did last night. If you want to go head-to-head Steph versus Lillard and end up building your lineup that way, it's definitely the way that I like to approach these large field tournaments.
I love it. And I also have somebody in the chat asking what the Discord link is, and bang. There you go, buddy. Let's get it. Ghost, what's your strategy playing 3-player games?
3-player games? My strategy for those contests is that you don't play them. But if you do, and the reason why, I'm not just saying that as a joke, like just a little bit, those are very volatile cash games. At that point, you might as well enter a 50-50 where you have 50% chance to win instead of 33%. So you end up hearing about this in some math problems or anything like that, where you always want to increase your odds and stuff like that. You're better off going to a 50-50 or going into a double up to be able to increase your chance of winning from 33% to 50%. In terms of the payout ratio, obviously, yes, it's nice to be able to take home a little bit more, but it's not worth the risk to be able to potentially lose something like that. If you are playing them, You got to build it like a cash lineup and just get different in one or two spots. A guy like, let's say, for example, if KD misses next game in a 3-game contest, everybody's going to have Kyrie. So you need to make sure that you have him, because if he goes bonkers, then you're already dead before the next game even starts.
Math. Last question from Drea. Then we're going to get back to these games. Will be the lowest owned game to stack.
Dallas, Houston.
Let's go. All right. Well, let's hop back to the board here. We have Charlotte. We have Philly. Ben Simmons, or I'm sorry, Joel Embiid, another great center position. As you said, there's a bunch on the slate tonight. How are you feeling about the rest of this game?
Embiid's going to dominate this game. This is a scary sight for Busy and Bismack Biyombo. He's going to have to play a ton of minutes because they're going to have to match up against Embiid. The only thing with Biyombo is that there's no way this guy's venturing out to the 3-point line, because Embiid could just dribble around him. That's the kind of agility that Embiid has, in the sense that Biyombo's not going to be able to go out there to guard the 3-pointer. Because Embiid's just going to beat him on the drive. So this is a matchup that they simply won't be able to guard him. If PJ Washington tries to double, this guy's just going to foul out in 30 seconds. So there's no way he's going out there. That's for sure. I love Embiid in this spot. Anytime you get Joel Embiid under 10K, especially in a matchup like this, is something that
it's a good day.
It's a great day to be alive, and you absolutely do, in fact, love to see it. So
this is something. Ghosts.
This is
all
something.
Catchphrases.
It's a spot that I absolutely love. My tournament pivot to Embiid would be Ben Simmons, more so on FanDuel, where the point guard position is always loaded on FanDuel. Seems like every single slate you're paying up for one of these studs, especially in a shortened season. There's going to be not only just 1 or 2 studs, there's going to be at least 4 or 5 on every single slate. Ben Simmons is often going to get overlooked over there on FanDuel. I think he's sitting at only 8,600 or 8,700. That's a prime spot for Ben Simmons to gain some leverage over the field there. Wouldn't surprise me to see him come in under 5% owned and potentially drop a triple-double here on these Charlotte Hornets.
I love it. Well, now let's talk about your boy now, Mr. LaMelo Ball. Why are you feeling so feisty about him tonight? 5,600.
Averaging 30 minutes in his past 3. Finally got his jump shot to go. Playing with some flair, playing with confidence. This is a guy that he comes off the bench, but playing 30-plus minutes, you absolutely love to see it. This is a guy that they brought him in not only because he was the most talented player in the draft, and they got him at 3, surprisingly, but also just because of the amount of excitement that he brings to this offense. Like, Charlotte was never that offense that, they blew people away or anything like that. So LaMelo brings that presence where, he's going to be able to go out there and do his thing tonight. He's racking up steals. He's racking up some blocks. He's rebounding extremely well for a rookie point guard. And you knew he was going to do that. He's a tall kid. I mean, he's not exactly the bulkiest guy. And obviously he would get bodied by Ben Simmons in the post, but he's a guy he goes up there, gets on his hops, and absolutely grabs those defensive balance. And that's something that really excites me in his game. Seeing him already doing that. He's pushing the pace, running in transition. This is going to be a fun game to watch LaMelo Ball in, and only $5,600. I'm definitely going to have my exposure. I'm pretty sure he's one of the top rated value plays on the model as well.
Top rate. Just guys, pay attention to the model. Ghost put in millions of hours of work into that thing. Let's move on. We have a New York, and actually, I apologize. Just want to give you the line for the Philly game. Philly by 8 over under 221. So now we hop down to the Knicks and the Hawks game. Starting at 7:30, 7.5 to the Hawks at home, over under 224.5. So the numbers are starting to get a little bit higher. 224. Nope, never mind. Those late games are going to be freaking awesome. Too bad I'm going to be asleep for those. Talk to me a little bit, Ghostman. The Knicks have been good-ish this year. They've covered a couple bets for me, surprisingly. So that works. I'll take it. So I'm cool. But these Hawks, they're fun to watch, man. How are you feeling about this game? This one might actually be pretty interesting.
Good teams win, great teams cover.
Exactly.
That's what you love to see. Another 2 great centers in this very matchup here between Mitch Robinson and Clint Capella. We talked about it in the preseason off-season show as well. Clint Capella running the pick and roll with Trae Young. He's driving over 16 times per game. And you know what? You know that when he's running that pick and roll, he's either getting to the free throw line or he's throwing up an alley-oop to Clint Capella. And that's something that is so much fun to watch. I mean, this is exactly like the Drummond Vooch situation. Whenever Capella's out there, Mitch Robinson's going to be out there. And then you know that the Knicks can't necessarily rebound all that well without Mitch Robinson out there. So you know that he's going to be out there. Hence, Clint Capella's going to be out there. That's what you need. Minutes is money. So you could go back and forth with these centers no matter which matchup that you end up picking. And really, again, when we're talking about that 1-2 all-star kind of run back and forth mini stack, that you don't necessarily have to do it with Embiid and Vooch, who combined for nearly $20,000 in salary. You could do it with Capella, and you could do it with Mitch Robinson. This is another great spot for both centers here, and look for both of them to easily reach double digits in both rebounds and scoring in this matchup. Trae Young is playable on any slate. This guy is trending into territory where he's pretty much unguardable. Second in the league with free throw attempts per game at 11.7, behind the one and only James Harden. Of course, you know that James Harden, as long as the earth is still spinning and everyone is still breathing, you know that James Harden is going to lead the league in free throw attempts. So Trae Young slotting in at number 2 at 11.7 per game. Like I was saying earlier, you know that when this guy's running the pick and roll with Clint Capella or even with John Collins, you know that he's either getting to the free throw line or he's getting an assist or an easy layup out of it. So it's a system that fairly predictable. I've probably only watched maybe a handful of Hawks games thus far, but it works every single time. And it's something that's really fun to watch. He's just so shifty out there. And he's a guy that close to unlimited range. I don't want to put him in the same category as Steph Curry and Damian Lillard when I say unlimited range, but pretty damn close for Trae Young. So 9,800 is something that's a little too steep for me to pay, considering there's another stud point guard that I want to talk about in that upper range. But he's somebody that I'm targeting. And of course, the other guy that you have on the screen there is Julius Randle. I like to pick on John Collins on defense. John Collins doesn't like defense.
Am I gonna get my screenshot tonight?
John Collins fouls a lot. Julius Randle has been playing amazing. I like Julius Randle. You see where this is going. Like you like at 9K on DraftKings, expensive. I get it. It's fine. You know, you could say, man, I could go down $200 to Vooch. I could go up $900 to Embiid. I could slot myself with all these mid-range stars. And we're only 3 games into a 10-game slate, let alone all the other guys that we have to talk about. So I understand if you're not getting full exposure to Julius Randle at 9K on DraftKings, but on FanDuel at $8,000, he's somebody that's in my core. He will be in my main lineup, and I will have a ton in the 150 that I run.
Yes, we bring up DraftKings because it's a little easier on the eyes, but don't worry, we cover all of it. I promise you that. So let's hop back to some of the questions. What are your thoughts on Olynyk in Miami? Get into that game next. Is Curry an option for GPP tonight, or would you take him in cash? And then we had I meant the opposite. Would you take Curry in cash games?
Yeah, you have to lock him in on at least on FanDuel. DraftKings, we're going to be able to provide ownership updates, and Adam always updates his core 4 as well in his article. So make sure you go and check that out. Make sure you check out our cheat sheet as well, because it'll update based on ownership. Cash is all about ownership, right? So you got to make sure that you have those high owned guys, and you can't be burned by excuse me. the Canadian cough is coming out. You can't be burned by guys that are highly owned. So slotting in Steph Curry on FanDuel tonight in cash is an absolute must. Over on DraftKings, you could get away from it. That's okay.
Love it. And here we are, Rusling Paving and Concrete.
For all your paving and concrete needs.
Thank you for finishing that. I think that's how we do it now. I say it and then you finish, or vice versa. Sorry you're late. No worries, man. I'm sorry. I have the hat. I got the hat. I got this sweet lime green fluorescent t-shirt. I just forgot to wear them today. So don't worry. Thankfully, we do a bunch of these. And the reason why Rusling Paving and Concrete. Come on. You're supposed to say it.
Oh, for all your paving and concrete needs. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Okay. We're gonna get it. Next time we'll get it. Next time we'll get it.
Son plays baseball, so happy to hear that. Rocker's starting a new site called Bad Dads. That's good. Dre is back. Point guards Pritchard and Ball? Question mark? I think so.
Let's go.
I think so. Here's actually a real question. Wood or Randall, if you can afford both on cash on FD?
I'm going to talk about Christian Wood for DraftKings. He's my Julius Randle on DraftKings. So I'm going to have a ton. He's going to be in my main lineup on DraftKings. I'm going to have a ton. And then Julius Randle on FanDuel.
Love it. OKC and Miami. So that question we had was Kelly Olynyk. I'm just going to put Tyler Hero up here now because but how do you feel about the rest of this game?
This one's a spot where, again, we talk about planting our flag and making sure that, you limit your player pool to the sense that, 10 games, it's a lot of options, and you could easily get overwhelmed, especially if you're building 1 to 3 lineups, meaning single entry contests or 3 max contests. I will not enter a single entry into one of those contests with 150 max and 50,000 people in it. That's definitely not plus EV over the long term. So stick to single entry if you're building 1 lineup, stick to 3 max if you're building 3. You're good to go. This is one of the games that I'm completely crossing off my board. sad for me to say that I'm not playing Tyler Hero tonight. Obviously, as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to play Tyler Hero, but you got to plant your flag somewhere. And at 6,400, he's just too expensive for me to be able to slot him in with confidence. As long as Jimmy Butler's playing, his price has to come down a little bit for me to be able to slot him in there.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Going back to the questions, our good friend. I always thought his name was John Ryder, to be honest. FanDuel GPP, choose to or else. Or elsewhere? I don't get it. Ball Curry MCW.
Ball and Curry. LaMelo Ball. Not Zoe. LaMelo Ball.
Yeah. Oh, no. I think so. Here we go. Is the field leaning balanced or stars and scrubs in large field GPPs? Jake,
they're going balanced. There's not a ton of value that opened up, or at least that the public can find. So that's why we're here.
That is why we're here. Also, that Miami Heat game, Heat by 9 over under 214. So that doesn't seem like it's that fun of a game anyway. So
OKC's bad. They're really bad
on purpose, but yeah, they are. All right, let's get to the Boston game now. We had the news. Marcus Smart is out. Kemba Walker still hasn't touched the floor yet this season. Jason Tatum, 8,600. Jaylen Brown, 8,300. But there's somewhere else that you want to go, huh, Ghost Man?
Yes, I am. Before I get to him, because we're going to have to scroll down a little bit there, we have to talk about your Duke Blue Devil.
Let's go, baby.
We got to slot him in there. I mean, $8,600 for Jason Tatum. You're looking at 36 plus minutes for a guy that him and Jaylen Brown are the Boston Celtics offense right now. They're also their defense. These guys are just the entire organization, and they're going to go absolute bonkers tonight. So,
I think, aren't they getting paid like almost like over $300 million total? So
yeah,
like,
it makes sense that they would shoulder the load. I mean, considering that's pretty much what they're getting paid for. So it kind of makes sense, but I like to throw them a bone there. They're extremely fun to watch. So for those of you that do not watch Raptors games, obviously because it's the only Canadian team in the league, I don't blame you. But the way that Toronto used to, what are you grinning at me for?
It's Tampa Bay.
No, I didn't hear you. You lost connection. I didn't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, do you want me to say it
again? So the way that Toronto used to play defense, they had Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. Obviously, everybody knows when they were on their finals run, they would stand there in the paint, waving their hands up in the air like they just don't care, right? And then they would just do nothing else. That's what they were there for, defense. These guys are gone. Aaron Baines, they thought could possibly be that guy. Narrator, he's not that guy.
Record scratch.
Right, so he is not that guy. And now they're stuck switching their complete system where Nick Nurse is kind of having them shift a ton. And, they end up having Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet guard one-on-one on the outside. And that's fine. Both of them could get the job done, or at least hold their own on enough possessions to not be, costing the team too many possessions. The problem is that Pascal Siakam is so lost on defense right now because him, OG, and Baines or Boucher, whoever's out there at the 5, are pretty much all collapsing the paint, trying to grab rebounds because they don't have that guy that rebounds exceptionally well. Wide open threes for Jaylen Brown all night tonight in the corner, and Tatum's going to absolutely body Siakam in the post. Like it's going to be really fun to watch. So those are the two guys that I'm targeting in this game. Whether you want to play them because Smart and Kemba are out or anything like that, for me, it's more so just the way that the Raps defense looks right now and in their new system. This is tailor-made for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on top of all these other guys being out.
Yes. It's going to be, sorry, Ghost. It's probably going to be a pretty good night for the Celtics. I didn't give it Raptors by 6. Raptors are favored by 6.
Boston plus 6 right now.
Yeah, Boston plus 6. I think I'll take that bet.
And I'm north of the border.
Love it. Is Fred VanVleet considered a star tonight?
No,
he's not.
Unfortunately not.
And we have some news that was broken, and we always appreciate the chat, but we got to get to your guy. I'm looking at the model right now, and my goodness, you'll love to see something pop. Talk to me about Pritchard.
Pritchard's that guy again. I spoke about him earlier on. 4 years at college. He's a seasoned rookie. He's not a, we could almost compare him to LaMelo Ball in the sense that, LaMelo went overseas, a bit more pro experience, went pro at the age of 16, I believe, something absurd like that. Like, these are guys that come in that they're used to playing, they're older guys. They've been there, done that compared to their draft class. Have they been there, done that compared to everyone else in the league? No, absolutely not. I mean, this is still his 7th game in the league, but he's been there, done that compared to the rest. He's going to be somebody that's going to be able to go out there and drop some shots for them tonight. his 3-point shot is something that he's extremely confident in, and I cannot wait to watch him in this matchup here. I'm expecting big things from him. I would like for them to keep him coming off the bench, because when Tatum or Brown come out for, maybe 3.5, 4 minutes at a time, like interchanging, that's when Pritchard's going to be able to go bonkers, and that's all we need at 3,700.
Yeah, and we're projecting him for value of well above 6, almost hitting that 7 number. So just a couple more things on this before we get to some of that news. Our good friend John Rocker, which Celtics does he need in FanDuel?
Jaylen Brown would be, man, it's really tough. Small forward is so bad on FanDuel that you could end up slotting in Jaylen Brown over Tatum. I give the edge to Tatum, but it really depends on your lineup construction. We'll talk about it when I get off air here, but I would go Brown over Tatum on FanDuel, Tatum over Brown any day of the week, and twice on this Monday night on DraftKings.
Beautiful, gorgeous Monday night. So let's go back. Roosling Paving and Concrete.
For all of your paving and concrete needs.
We have Garland ruled out, Isaac Okoro ruled out, and Dotson is starting for Garland. So Roosling Paving and Concrete.
For all your paving and concrete needs.
We appreciate you. Please, everybody, we love to see this, because that gets Ghost really excited.
Narrator, it was in fact a Colin Sexton game day.
You love that narrator bit. I kind of like it too. What else do we got? Drummond or Embiid on FanDuel?
Embiid.
Drea just chiming in. Sexton and Drummond. Yeah, I think it's one of those nights. All right, we still have a few more games to get to. This one should be a lot of fun. Dallas and Houston. We have Houston favored by 4. The over-under sits at a cool 230. You'll love to see it. We have James Harden is in. He should be good to go. Doncic is questionable. I don't know if we're going to find out anytime soon on that, probably a little while longer. So let me slot James Harden and talk to me about this game, Ghost Man.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite games to stack, considering that it's pulling absolutely no ownership, or at least that's the way it is 42 minutes before lock here. Everybody's going towards these earlier games, and that's fine. I'll gladly take the game with one of, if not the highest over-under on the slate as of right now. It was before I came on air. Obviously, things changed depending on the line movement. Now it's the second highest. I will gladly take the game with the second highest over-under, where all these guys are coming in under 10% owned. I don't get it. Christian Wood is underpriced by roughly $1,000. John Wall is underpriced by $1,000 to $1,500. Those are two guys that you could easily pair together. If the Harden ceiling game scares you, because you know what? Well, Harden dropped 55 DraftKings points tonight. I'd be shocked if he didn't. But is it going to be enough for a tournament? If that worries you a little bit, that's where you can end up going Christian Wood and John Wall and feel completely confident that, you know what, these guys have a stronger chance of getting 40, 45 apiece than James Harden does going nuclear for 75 to 80, right? So just be careful if you're building 3 maxes and you don't have James Harden against Luka, prime time, national TV. Like, this is something that these games are what James Harden lives for. Mm-hmm. Coming off an ankle injury, you know he's good to go. He missed out last game. John Wall got to do his thing. This is a James Harden game. So John Wall is going to be able to absolutely exceed his price. So will Christian Wood. Is it because they'll absolutely dominate usage over James Harden? No, it's more so just the fact that they're underpriced on DraftKings specifically. On FanDuel, $9,100 for Christian Wood is a pretty penny to pay. Debating between him and Jason Tatum is something that you know what, you're going to have to decide, and make sure you go and check out the projection model and hop in Discord to see where the team is leaning there. John Wall at 8,500 on FanDuel is certainly in play, but I rather go up to Ben Simmons, just a couple $100 there, or go all the way down, see if I could get a value point guard as well. But here on DraftKings, the John Wall to Christian Wood duo is something that I will have a ton of.
Yeah, looking at the model right now, Wall and Wood both over 6 times value. That is what you love to see. Let's hop into the chat for a second. Let's go back to Roosling Paving and Concrete.
For all of your paving and concrete needs.
Trae Young, Doncic, or Curry. First off, man, love you. Just need to figure out how to spell. That's the only thing I'm going to say. FanDuel GPP, what do you got?
Steph Curry.
Yeah, especially after what he did last night. Let's go. Hunter or Bobby Portis?
Who? There's no way that if I play Bobby Portis on a slate, make sure one of you guys come and fly up here. I think the border's closed, but find a way.
Yeah.
Come and check my pulse. Make sure I'm still breathing. If that's DeAndre Hunter, I like DeAndre Hunter tonight. Not really, because they're two different positions, so I'm not really sure if there's a different Hunter that I'm unaware of at like minimum price or something. But if it's DeAndre Hunter, yeah, I like DeAndre Hunter in this matchup.
We'll
Because
get
John
it.
Collins is going to foul out in 24 minutes again.
That's probably true. Luka is now probable.
He's going to play in this game. He already missed last game, and just a little bit of a background regarding the NBA rules. You're not allowed to sit players for load management on nationally televised games this year. Adam Silver made that very clear. You're subject to massive fines and potentially even draft pick compensation that ends up being removed there. So they're trying to avoid that because, yes, we don't have fans right now, but they're already setting precedents that when fans go, take it for example, like it's a kid's dream to end up going to see LeBron in LA, and then it's a nationally televised game and they sit LeBron. Like that, you can't be doing that to fans and stuff like that. So, and it's also not good for TV ratings. So Luka's gonna play in this game.
Sit a home game, right? Like don't go to Orlando so that one kid, that wants to see LeBron play, he's just gonna come on guys.
Yeah, exactly. You can't
understand, but at the same time, you do it for the kids. Pritchard, Ross, MCW, Tatum, Embiid, LaMelo, Bay, Wood, DK, SEGP, P.
Strong. There's one small forward that I would try and jam in there. Not sure if you have any salary left, but there's a small forward that I like. Ross is expensive for me on DraftKings. 5,900 for Terrence Ross is it's expensive.
It's a bit. It is a bit.
It's definitely a little tight.
You love it. Drea, back. Which Houston Dallas players are best for FanDuel?
You can stick with the same core because of the fact that they're so expensive. Not only are they already coming in lower owned on DraftKings, but ownership tends to correlate fairly well between two sites. A lot of people end up building what they do on DraftKings or on FanDuel or vice versa, and then they end up going to the opposite site and just trying to replicate that. So ownership tends to, with a couple exceptions, obviously if there's somebody that's minimum price on FanDuel and DraftKings actually price them accordingly, then he'll be ridiculously high owned on FanDuel. But with the fact that it's so low owned and on top of that they're expensive on FanDuel, you could load up with the John Wall and Christian Wood combo over there.
Love it. What about Anunoby? He corrected his spelling, but we don't need to look at it. For Pritchard, Tatum, run back.
I'm not really interested in any Raptors tonight.
Ghost, no Harden on FD, right?
I have some. If the earth, for all your paving and concrete needs.
Yep.
If the earth is rotating and I'm breathing, I'm playing James Harden.
Yes. And Daniel House rolled out. Thanks. Always love it. So we're going to be here for another 15 minutes. Ghost, he has to fix the rest of his lineups too. But before we get, only 3 games left, but before we get to those, we want to thank our sponsor, Manscaped. Support for Win Daily is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels, rocker. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Ghost, did you finally get your Manscaped yet?
I did, yes. I ended up telling you last time that the box.
You're right.
The box. Yep. My goodness. Not only is it a great product, but the box is so professional. Such a great product. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Jay, for that.
Very happy to have them as a sponsor. I used to be terrified of shaving my balls. We actually had a joke over in the comments already about shaving balls, so you'll love to see it. Hopefully ghosts are nice and shaved up as well. I won't ask for a picture. I'll just ask him to tell the stories. But that is why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. It used to be terrible. It used to be horrifying. I used to hate it. I used to just not do it, honestly, and it didn't work out that well in college. But Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and they just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. Their 3rd generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Swear to God, I've tried. Doesn't work. Can't cut yourself. When I tell you it's premium, I mean premium. Battery lasts up to 90 minutes, so that first shave, it can be nice and long if you need it to. You can use that bad boy in the shower for the waterproof technology, and it has this sweet LED light which lets you see each and every little hair. Let's not forget about the charging stand. Show off your mower loud and proud because its intelligently designed stand is convenient charging dock powered by USB. So if you're listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand. Trim your junk. Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code WINDAILY at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping, promo code WINDAILY, manscaped.com. One more time, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Using promo code WINDAILY, your balls will thank you. So we always love that. Appreciate Manscaped for what they do for us because they help out a lot. So let's get back to the chat. FDGPP, Pritchard, Curry, DeLon. Oh, somebody's looking at the projections. Wiggins, Barrett, Barnes, Tatum, Randall, and Capella.
That's beautiful outside of Andrew Wiggins. Just swap Andrew Wiggins, keep everything the same.
Buddy.
Keep everything the same. Just do not play Andrew Wiggins, please. Don't do that to me.
Ghost you can't do that. But that was
if you want to run that, do it. Just duplicate that lineup, take out Wiggins and slide in another shooting guard.
Literally.
Get Sexton in there. Get Sexton over Wiggins. If that fits, run that lineup with Sexton. And then let me know how that goes.
I'm so excited for Trent to send us a sweet screenshot tomorrow. Any James Wiseman?
A little scared of James Wiseman on a back-to-back. Not in single entry or 3 max, no. All
right. DK, Ball, Sexton, Tatum, Gordon, Wood, Pritchard, Baisley, Seth Curry. Dookie, love it.
Yeah, everyone except Baisley for me. He is pretty much one of the only options that OKC has outside of SGA, but I'm just completely off that game. So see if you could swap out for another forward for Baisley, but rest looks good. Be careful of Aaron Gordon's minutes, by the way. If that's Aaron Gordon, just be careful of possibly on a minutes restriction.
Love to see it. Got Ross at shooting guard position, and since LaMelo and Pritchard are both point guard only and Embiid Wood are both center only, got MCW at small forward at the moment. Not too much flexibility. I think we saw his lineup a little bit before going back to this guy. Yeah.
So slot in. Well, I was going to talk about him this game, but slot in Bay at small forward, and then you have the forward spot. So you might be able to get a power forward over T. Ross. See if you could get Harrison Barnes in there over Terrence Ross.
Here we go. You should have to play the Ball brothers. I should get to play the Ball brothers every night. They're on the same slate and on Manscaped. Maybe that's something we could post to Manscaped. We'll have a ball line. Wow, that is genius. People, you just saw that live on the stream. That is absolutely genius. Manscaped, we're gonna make you so much goddamn money. We appreciate you. Rusling Paving and Concrete.
For all of your paving and concrete needs.
Hield or DeLon? Get there.
Raw points, Buddy Hield. Point per dollar, DeLon Wright.
Love it. Harden on FanDuel for 11.4K in a GPP.
Nobody's playing him, and that's always fun. You get James Harden. If you could think about it this way, when you end up fading one of these studs, and you say, "Man, what was the winning lineup?" If it's not already you, what was the winning lineup? And you see James Harden drop 80, would you be surprised?
No.
Nope. So that's a guy that, you know what, if you're building one lineup, I'm fine with getting away from him. But if you're building a ton, you need at least a couple shares of James Harden tonight. On any slate, he could drop 80.
Here we go. Moving on. Only a couple games left. Detroit and Milwaukee. Milwaukee at home, -16. Jesus Christ. Over-under sits at 224. Anything from this game?
Yeah, Sadiq Bey all the way down at 3,900. He's got confidence with his 3-point shot. Milwaukee absolutely blows versus the 3-pointer. No Jackson for Detroit. No Blake Griffin. They need somebody to score. Like outside of Jeremy Grant, Killian Hayes is not going to score. Not in this lifetime at least. Like they need somebody to score, and Sadiq Bey is going to be that guy that's also blowout proof. If this game, if you're building a lineup based on blowout, I highly recommend that you don't do that. Because if it doesn't go the way that you plan, then your lineup is absolutely shot. But if you're building this game and you know what, Vegas has a 16-point spread, if it's tight, it's because Bay is going bonkers. If it blows out, he's going to play. So either way, he's game script proof. At only 3,900, he's by far one of the top value plays on the entire slate. And on top of that, he's small forward and power forward eligible on DraftKings.
Which is always nice. Yes, I've been seeing his name pop up all day in the chat, and then I also saw a lot of Beyonce gifts too, which have always made me laugh. So that was a lot of fun.
Shout out Brian for this.
Yeah, they've actually been a lot of fun. I love the team over here at Win Daily. So we have Indianapolis and New Orleans. No, it's Indiana, right? It's not Indianapolis Pacers. Indiana Pacers and the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans by 1.5 at home. Over under sits at 216. What do we like from this game? Brandon Ingram, hopefully?
We're going to go all the way up. There's going to be a certain stud that I would recommend getting shares of, and that's Domantas Sabonis. Death, taxes, exposure to the most underrated power forward in the NBA.
Love it.
This is a guy that he could drop a triple-double on any given night. Very similar style to Nikola Jokic. Not in the same stratosphere just yet in terms of raw talent, but he's getting there. He's a guy that dominates the glass. No TJ Warren on the wing really opens up things for him because now they actually have more shooting on the outside, which means he gets to do whatever he wants in the post. Tough matchup versus Zion. He's a big kid, but Sabonis is better. He could score in any which way that he wants to, and he'll be able to dominate that post and the glass on both ends of the court tonight. Outside of that, you could always play Malcolm Brogdon, more so a play on FanDuel than DraftKings. I'd rather just go to John Wall on DraftKings, but different pricing on FanDuel and DraftKings, and it really highlights guys like this, where on DraftKings, it's a must to play John Wall over Malcolm Brogdon if deciding between the two. Whereas if you're talking about FanDuel, you could definitely go Brogdon over Wall. He has a safe floor, and he is also that guy that, when he gets hot, we saw what he did last game. He scored 12 out of the first 16 points for the Pacers, and he's still that cog for the offense after coming over from Milwaukee, right? So again, no TJ Warren. All these guys have to pick up the slack. They all have fairly even usage rates between 25 to 30%, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. He's a guy that has a safe floor, and he often comes in under-owned on slates like this.
You'll love it. You'll love it. Man, this game doesn't seem as fun. I'm excited to get to the next one. And do you remember when TJ Warren did that thing in the bubble? That was
he scored a few. He scored a little bit.
Scored a couple points. Haven't quite seen that yet this year. A little disappointing, but it is what it is. Thoughts on Oubre and GPP? Get into that game in a second. But because his question follows up, so it leaves him with 5,300 for a shooting guard with no MCW because he's point guard small forward, which makes really no sense. Oubre might be might get you there. So let's just go over and let's check out that game. We see Ghost Boy Steph Curry sitting at a cool 9,300. So I'm curious where he's going with this one. But as I was telling you, that Dallas-Houston game has the second highest total. Well, this Kings-Warriors game has the highest. Kings on the road, favored by 2 points. So Warriors, you got a nice home dog there. Over-under sits at 234.5. Let's LFG. Let's go, people. Let's go. And do you want to take a little bit of a lap on Steph Curry, because that was insane last night? Are you shaking your own hand? I'll shake your hand too.
Thank you. Plus 850 Steph Curry MVP show. If you missed it,
honestly, he might get better odds on him now because he didn't come out of the gate super hot. I don't know.
People got to put respect on my MVP's name, please. That was something. That was fun. That was unreal. This guy's getting triple teamed up and down the court, and he's still dropping 62.
Some of those shots were just insane. I mean, him at 93, Fox at 82, Hield at 68. I mean, we're not talking about Andrew Wiggins. What was it? Kelly Oubre at 55. Who are some of the plays you like from this game?
Yeah, I shouldn't have to tell you why you could play Steph Curry. You just saw what he did last night. Yes. If you want a bit more analytical depth to it, other than, oh my God, he dropped 62 in a game and he could do that on any given night. It's more so just that this is a pace up spot for the Warriors. Sacramento loves to push the pace. Thank you to their point guard in De'Aaron Fox, who's one of my favorite under-owned plays on this slate. This guy's just fast. I say it over and over again. This guy just plays at an absurd pace. He pushes the court like nobody in this league other than John Wall. So that I'm actually going to go make a lineup with John Wall and De'Aaron Fox and just make the fastest line that I could possibly make and throw it into one of these large field tournaments, see how that works out. But this is a game where he's going to push the pace so much on Steph because he's going to want him to burn out, right? When the Warriors have an abysmal plus minus when Steph comes off the court. So he's somebody that, he's going to have to do it. Tyrese Halliburton's out for Sacramento on top of that too. So is Halliburton really a threat to Hields and Fox's minutes? He gets up there in the 20 plus range, and you know what? He provides that number 3 option similarly to a rotation that we have in Miami between Dragic, Hero, and Duncan Robinson, right? So there's no real guy that sticks out above the rest. I mean, in the sense that on any given night, it could be a Dragic night, it could be a Hero night, it could be a Duncan Robinson night, right? So here, this is De'Aaron Fox's offense. So would I pick on a given slate Tyrese Halliburton or De'Aaron Fox in raw points? Definitely not. But him being out, they're gonna be forced to rely on De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield even more so than they already do. Both these guys are playing an absurd amount of minutes. Buddy Hield is a guy that just loves to throw up 3-pointers, and with attempts come baskets. I mean, you can't play one of these guys and not expect volatility in the sense that, can Buddy Hield go 2 for 15 tonight and absolutely crush your lineup? Yeah. But can he go 12 for 15 and go nuclear and then just hit a bunch of threes in a game where he's playing the greatest 3-point shooter of all time? You got to play at both angles, right? And that's exactly why we play tournaments. It's to take that risk that a $6,800 Buddy Hield is going to get no ownership tonight. He's way too expensive for the floor that he presents. He's somebody that could easily get you 15 DraftKings points with a nice little snowflake beside his name, and you're like, man, this absolutely crushed me. But when you get that sub 5% owned flame and he hits 50 plus for somebody that's below 7,000, that's what ends up making you win these tournaments. So I'm definitely taking my shots on Buddy Hield tonight in large field contests. And you have to play him in cash on FanDuel, believe it or not. This is a guy that's coming in over 30% owned on FanDuel at the shooting guard position because he's only 5,700 over there. So again, we're talking about price discrepancies between sites tonight. Really, really cheap over on FanDuel. I suggest getting your exposure, especially in cash. You need Buddy Hield in cash.
All right, so we will be leaving you guys in a couple minutes. But Ghost, can I leave people with something from the projections?
Yeah.
Okay. New highest value on the slate, as we said before. Darius Garland is.
Wait.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. So the projections update automatically when we're within 1 hour of lock. They update every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, whatever it is, because excuse me, news keeps dropping, and Ghost has this thing so fine tuned that whenever I can say it.
Yeah,
I can say it. Okay. So we
I
talked about
make sure it wasn't. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a crazy secret weapon for the Win Daily family only. I didn't want to.
Well, yeah, this is brand new, and it came from our good friend over at Rusling Paving and Concrete.
For all of your paving and concrete needs.
Mr. Dotson is starting for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, and my goodness, his projections on value, especially considering he's only 3,200, his value is absolutely through the roof. So might be something to check that out. Let's just go back. We did this one, Hield or DeLon, right?
Yeah, raw points, you got to go Buddy Hield, point per dollar, whatever the model says. I'm 99.9% sure. I can't even say last time I ran it. This thing it runs on its own, as you just saw my face on live air. So pretty sure it's still going to have DeLon Wright point per dollar over Buddy Hield.
Looks like it as of right now. Curry, Fox, or Wall, FanDuel, GPP.
Curry, raw points, ownership. Give me De'Aaron Fox over John Wall.
Here we go. Curry or Fox for MVP on Piggy Bank. What's Piggy Bank?
MVP. Oh, the showdown.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah,
the showdown is Curry all the way. Don't get cute on FanDuel. The prices don't change, right? So they don't change whether you slot them in at MVP, Pro, or Star. Their prices don't change. So just go Curry MVP.
Rusling Paving and Concrete.
For all of your paving and concrete needs, of course, your family.
Yeah, dude, you just have to get that in Discord. That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to hurt people like you by giving it out.
Yeah, buddy.
Give out all the goodies.
And honestly, Rusling Paving and Concrete.
For all of your paving and concrete needs.
If you don't know already, these videos get like 10,000 views. So honest to God, you're getting some insane value when it comes to advertising, because he did give me a hat and I forgot to wear it. I promise I will bring it downstairs, so I will have it. It's actually a little chilly in my basement. So if anybody, how
Let's
about
go.
that, Ghost,
Let's
man?
go. I love that.
Right. That is good.
Now we're
talking.
right there. I love that.
There we go. So that's it, people. That is it. We're going to let Ghost get out of here because I know he's got work still to do. 20 minutes, and he's probably got like 500 lineups he's got to fix. But he does it for you. He does it for the people. He does it because we love it. Make sure to go to windailysports.com. As I said, we still have our $150 NBA season pass, 7 months, $150. You get everything. You get the expert chat. You get the projections that Ghost does himself. Computers help. You get the articles, all the articles that come out on a daily basis. We have absolutely been crushing it this year. So make sure you hop on that train. Please, if you haven't already, smash that like button, because YouTube likes us and we want to like YouTube back. And there's something about, like, I don't know, algorithms and bullshit. Ghost, man, where can everybody find you on the internet?
DFS_Ghost over on Twitter. And of course, with the Win Daily family, windailysports.com/chat. Make sure you guys come and join.
Let's do it. You can find me at MikeRozil1. You can find us at Win Daily Sports. Thank you to our friends over at HNB Media TV. Thank you to the chat. We love each and every one of you. The more questions we get, the more fun I have. I'm going to have fun because I'm hanging out with Ghost, but the more fun I get to have. There we go. For Ghost, for myself, for the chat, for Win Daily Sports, for HNB Media, for everybody. We hope you make it a very profitable night in the NBA.